The movie starts at a big port in Tokyo. A big boss named General Douglas MacArthur gets news about a big storm coming. One of his helpers tells him that if they go on with their plan, many people might get hurt. He asks if they should still go on. Then everything goes dark. We find out that on June 25, 1950, North Korea, with help from the Soviet Union, attacks South Korea. 2 days later, the U.S. President Truman sent U.S. soldiers to help, but most of South Korea, above the Nakdong River, is taken over within a month. To change things, MacArthur plans a secret mission with 8 men called Mission X-Ray. On a train going to Incheon, Hak-soo tells Nam-chul that reading too much will make him forget about the real world. Nam-chul disagrees and says that books give them ideas about how the world works. Hak-soo ruins the ending by telling him that the hero of the story gets shot and while dying, looks at the beautiful blue sky. He asks what the point is, and Hak-soo says that when you're dying and in pain, would you really be looking at the beautiful sky? They start fighting, and Hak-soo hurts Nam-chul while the rest of his men take out Nam-chul's team. They get to Incheon, where Jang Chung greets them. Hak-soo introduces himself as Nam-chul. He tells them that the defense commander has been waiting for him and that their cars are ready. Gai-jin welcomes Hak-soo, who is pretending to be Nam-chul. Gai-jin asks how the fight in Nakdong River is going, and Hak-soo reports that it's very bad. During the meeting, Hak-soo asks how they'll protect against the Americans if they attack from the sea. Jang Chun explains the only small path that they could use to get into the bay. He also asks about bombs, which makes Gai-jin interested. He confirms that they're ready and the waterway is filled with them. Hak-soo asks if it's clearly marked on the map and asks for a copy. Gai-jin says that he'll personally give it to the Supreme Commander, not to Hak-soo. The team meets the hospital staff in Incheon. Gai-jin jokingly tells everyone at the table to be careful of Hak-soo, as he was sent to watch them. Everyone laughs. Gai-jin asks Jae-sun what she'd do if her uncle was a religious man. She tries to reason it out and says that a religious man can't just follow a party's ideas, so his religious beliefs should be removed. Hak-soo, on the other hand, says that it's a person's choice, and Gai-jin asks if he believes in God. He changes his mind and says that their party doesn't believe in God, but Gai-jin is starting to doubt him. He asks directly for his unit's password. Hak-soo replies that he could be shot if he said it out loud, so he writes it down instead. Gai-jin calls Sun-sil, the head secretary of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea headquarters, and asks about Nam-chul. She reveals that the man has a scar on the left side of his neck. Hak-soo confronts Gai-jin at the gun range about papers given to him that have a different number of planted bombs. He demands the map to compare the two. Gai-jin tells him that he's too interested in these planted bombs. Hak-soo repeats that the reason he's there is to make sure everything is in order and accuses Gai-jin of making a mistake because he can't get a clear answer about them. Gai-jin gets angry at this and points his gun at him. He slowly lowers the gun, stops around Hak-soo's collar and checks for the scar on the left side of his neck. It's there. MacArthur asks his team to send out fake news about landing operations. Staff reports that Hak-soo and his team are still not successful in getting information about the bombs and need more time. 2 separate meetings happened. On August 23, 1950, MacArthur has a final strategy meeting at the UN Command Headquarters in Tokyo, while North Korean officials meet in Pyongyang. MacArthur fights to go on with Operation Chromite, a force of UN soldiers and ships that will attack Incheon. Gai-jin, on the other hand, tries to convince the North Korean officials to protect Incheon. Hak-soo visits the barber that Gai-jin visited earlier. The barber turns out to be from the Korean liaison office in Incheon, Sukjong. He asks him how he can help Hak-soo, and the man asks for a way out for him and his team, but promises that the map for the bombs will be with them that evening. Hak-soo and his team plan to sneak into the North Korean officials' offices the next day. He tells Bong-po to track all the guards during their shifts and break time, Nam to distract the guards, Jo to sneak into Gai-jin's office, Song and Yong to search for more weapons, and Doljong to get their getaway car and make sure their exit route is clear. Hak-soo will then keep Gai-jin and Jang Chun busy. While drinking, Jang Chun tells Gai-jin he needs to go back as he has some reports to finish. Hak-soo calls for Jang Chun's attention and tries to convince him to stay a little longer, but the other man refuses and says goodbye. Hak-soo has no choice but to hope that Jo finds the charts before Jang Chun is back in his office. Jang Chun runs into Nam, who's still disciplining the guards in the hallway. Nam greets him and makes sure to speak loud enough for Jo to hear him. He follows after Jang Chun, trying to talk to the man to give Jo enough time to escape. Jo and Nam hold Jang Chun at gunpoint as soon as he enters his office. office. They force Jiang Chun to open the safe, and Zhou immediately finds the map for the bombs in Incheon. Jiang Chun tries to escape, but Nam shoots him. They get into a gunfight with Jiang Chun and the other North Korean guards. While the two are distracted, Jiang Chun throws a lighter into the safe to burn the contents, especially the map. Nam tells Zhou to save the map and jump out the window as he fights the guards in another gunfight. However, Jiang Chun shoots at Zhou as he stands by the window frame, hitting him in the back and killing him. Nam jumps after him, and Jiang Chun misses. When he lands next to Zhou's body, he finds the other man dead, and the map burned to ashes. Gaijin gets a call from Jiang Chun, who tells him that Hak-Soo and his entire team are South Korean spies. Gaijin comes back to the table and decides to ask Hak-Soo about a story that everyone in the Soviet faction knows. A man got an order to kill his rich father but couldn't, so his friend did it for him, which made him go crazy, killing his friends and then running away to South Korea. He asks what the man's name was. Hak-Soo replies with his own name. Gaijin calls Hak-Soo by his real name and asks him why he's there. The two of them stand up and pull out their weapons, pointing them at each other. Yang slowly opens the door to the big room. He and Song start firing their guns, which gives Hak-Soo enough time to run away. Gaijin, using a lady as a shield, kills Yang, which makes Song mad. Hak-Soo and the others get away. Nam and Daljong get there just in time with their escape car to save Hak-Soo and the others. As they're running away, Song is hit from behind. They try to go back for him, but he tells them to run as he faces the bad guys and keeps firing his gun at them. The rest get away successfully as Gaijin is mad at the guards left at the building. His men catch two brothers who were found with guns made in the US. He kills one of them, while the other begs for his life and promises to tell everything. He says that the guns were given by a man with really big eyes and a nice watch. Gaijin realizes it's his barber, Suk Jong, who he had given a Kim Il-sung watch a few days earlier. Vandenberg visits MacArthur to inform him that Truman is contemplating his plan, but wants to ensure that the Chinese do not join the conflict. He conveys that Truman wants them to retreat when they reach the line. MacArthur opposed Truman's direct order. General Vandenberg directly questions him if he's attempting another run for the presidency. This infuriates MacArthur, and he scolds Vandenberg for attempting to instruct him or scrutinize his motives. Upon reaching the rendezvous point, Jae-sun catches Suk Jong, smuggling Hak-Soo and his team. She attempts to protest, but Suk Jong silences her and guides the men through a hidden room. Jae-sun reveals that Hak-Soo is a South Korean spy and pleads with him to listen. They restrain her. Suk Jong instructs them to rest and hide until dawn before he departs. Hak-Soo requests him to establish contact with KLO, which he agrees to. As Suk Jong arrives at his home, he heads for his equipment to transmit Hak-Soo's message, unaware that Gaijin is already waiting for him in the shadows. He struggles to locate his firearm, but Gaijin already has it. Gaijin's men return to the abandoned building where Hak-Soo and the others are hiding. Hak-Soo explains his communist leanings to Jae-sun and recounts the incident when he was ordered to kill his own father. Before he can discuss it further, Gaijin and his men arrive at the abandoned building in search of them. A severely injured Suk Jong is also with them, and Gaijin questions him about the whereabouts of Hak-Soo and his team. Suk Jong claims he doesn't know. Gaijin orders his men to rouse the entire neighborhood, as some of them tie Suk Jong against a tree. Jae-sun pleads with Hak-Soo to help Suk Jong. Hak-Soo instructs his men to open the pathway to the tunnel and releases Jae-sun, but she arrives too late. Jin-chul, the captain of KLO Incheon, arrives with his men through the secret tunnel. He informs Hak-Soo that the Incheon landing operation will commence in 3 days. As the map is gone, Hak-Soo and his team will need to find another way to locate the mines. Hak-Soo suggests that since Jiang Chun was the one hiding the map, he's the only one who knows where the mines are. He proposes they kidnap him at the hospital where he's recuperating. At the hospital, Gaijin enters Jiang Chun's room as Jae-sun is about to administer anesthesia. He remarks that ideology is thicker than blood, which reminds her of what Hak-Soo told her the previous night. Before leaving, she tells Gaijin to wait for her in Jiang Chun's room as she needs to tell him something. As soon as she gets the gurney out of the room, Hak-Soo and his team intercept them and wheel Jiang Chun's body away from her. She chases after them. They transfer Jiang Chun's unconscious body to the truck and make their escape with Jae-sun, but Gaijin and his men are just a step behind. Hak-Soo falls off the truck fighting a North Korean soldier that hitched a ride. He shoots another soldier riding a motorcycle and steals it so he can catch up to the others. The North Koreans are intercepted by a truck carrying logs that has Daljong and Dae-soo. They're unable to escape as Daljong is too injured to run, and they get captured. Hak-Soo and the others reach the rendezvous point with Jin-chul and his men providing cover fire for them. As MacArthur prepares for Operation Chromite, he asks his staff to send a message to Hak-Soo and his men. They are expected to light the Palmito Lighthouse on September 15th to guide the fleet to the beach. Dae-soo and Daljong are publicly executed in the middle of the streets of Incheon. MacArthur and his fleet arrive in Incheon as expected. They immediately bomb and attack the Incheon shores while Hak-Soo Hak-Soo heads for Wolmido Island to make sure that no surprises await there. He runs into Jae-sun, who's geared up, and she confirms that she joined the cause as a medic and will be accompanying Jin-chul as they storm Palmito Lighthouse. Jin-chul and his group successfully light Palmito Lighthouse, and MacArthur confirms that the road to Incheon is open. He directs them to cease their fire and deploy the advance unit at once. Hak-Soo and his group realize that Gaijin has ordered more TNTs to be buried on the beach, which is enough to wipe out the incoming fleet. The group decides to set them off early. Nam goes off alone, while Hak-Soo prepares to fire the tank on Gaijin's command center. Gaijin, on the other hand, is getting ready to bomb the battleship he suspects MacArthur is on. Hak-Soo misses on his first try, but is victorious on his next attempt, risking his life. Nam sets off the TNTs. Bong Po is hit by shrapnel as he and Hak-Soo try to escape. Hak-Soo fires the flare gun that MacArthur and the rest are waiting for, signaling that Operation Chromite can proceed. Gaijin shoots at Hak-Soo and kills Bong Po. He confronts him and is about to shoot him when he realizes he's out of bullets. As he tries to reload, Hak-Soo pulls his own gun out, tells him that they should end it, and kills him. With too many injuries, Hak-Soo reminisces about his comrades who fell and regrets not bidding his mother goodbye when he saw her earlier. Jae-sun finds his body, but it's too late. MacArthur finds him as well and sees that he died fighting Gaijin off. The movie ends with the actual photo of the 15 men who died during Mission X-Ray. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.